once again, Your Excellency.
The Minister for Fisheries and Forests, Honorable Hosea Mangumu, the Senior Social Development Specialist from the World Bank, Ms. Hadi Say, our development partners, representatives from international and regional organizations, representatives from non-governmental organizations, representatives from government statutory bodies, senior government officials, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Nisambula Vinaka, Salaam Alaikum, Namaste. I am indeed honored to be here with you all this evening to officially launch the Forest Carbon Partnership Facility, REDD+, Readiness Grant for Fiji. REDD+ is a mechanism under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Its purpose is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. As many of you would have heard, REDD+ is a collective effort led by the United Nations to create financial value for the carbon stored in forests, offering incentives for developing countries to reduce emissions from forested lands and invest in low carbon paths to sustainable development. The UN REDD+ website states that REDD+ goes beyond deforestation and forest degradation and includes the role of conservation, sustainable management of forests, and enhancement of forest carbon stocks. In recognition of this important goal and its benefits to the environment and to Fiji's future, the Fijian government in 2010 approved the Fiji REDD+ policy. Over these past 5 years, government funded Fiji's REDD+ activities. We were fortunate to be assisted by our development partners, in particular the German International Cooperation Agency, GIZ. It is pleasing to note that Fiji has now secured a grant of $3.8 million excuse me, from the Forest Carbon Partnership Facility under the World Bank to support our efforts in participating in this international climate change mechanism. The grant is for 4 years, beginning from 2015. The Forestry Department is the lead implementing agency in Fiji. I am informed that Fiji is among the few countries from small island developing states that is moving quickly with the implementation of the REDD+ concept. The grant will therefore enable Fiji to strengthen the implementation of REDD+ activities, including aligning the framework to meet the international requirements for the implementation of REDD+ at the national level. The grant will also help Fiji firm up on its national REDD+ strategy and to scale up its process of collaboration, resource mobilization, and capacity development at all levels. Ladies and gentlemen, Fiji is endowed with extensive forest resources that provide important environmental, social, and economic benefits. We are fortunate that over half of our total landmass 58% in fact, is still covered with forests, which are home to at least 1,518 species of vascular plants, of which 50.1% are endemic to Fiji. The protection and the wise use of these resources is essential if their multiple values are to be maintained for the benefit of future generations. In this context, REDD+ brings with it an excellent opportunity for increasing efforts towards the protection of our forest ecosystems, in which forests are paid for while they remain standing. Developing countries such as Fiji are provided with financial incentives to implement REDD+ activities on the ground, while at the same time compensate the forest owners for conserving their forest resources. This has to go hand in hand with the necessary safeguards, capacity building, and technical monitoring requirements of the World Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is everybody's concern. Our participation within the climate change global mechanism is an indication of our concern on the impacts of climate change on humanity, especially in small island developing states. It is also a demonstration of Fiji's willingness and commitment to playing its part in the global issue by reducing carbon dioxide emissions. Even though Fiji's volume of carbon dioxide reduction may appear negligible when measured at the global level, it is for us a very significant effort because it also reflects our contribution to, quote, the future we want, unquote, and to the future we want for our children and grandchildren. REDD+ has the ability to significantly contribute to the achievement of multiple objectives, such as the 3 Rio Conventions, which were part of the outcomes of the Rio +20 conference held in Rio de Janeiro in 2004. These include 1, the United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, 2, the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, and 3, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Included in this are other goals such as poverty alleviation, provision of ecosystem services, and food security. It is therefore vital that REDD+ is implemented in such a way that it sets the framework for strengthened collaboration to achieve the needed transformative change within our sectors and to better deliver on our current needs and obligations. Similarly, an unprecedented level of cooperation, collaboration, and inclusiveness between all stakeholders is necessary to successfully achieve the wider and full objectives of the grant. Climate change will continue to get increased attention from the global community as we move into the future. The report of the Open Working Group of the General Assembly on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, in 2014 contained 17 goals with 179 targets. Goal 13 states, and I quote, "Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts," unquote. Addressing climate change is considered such an important element by the global community that it warrants to have a goal on its own. Fiji considers climate change very seriously. Our commitment is further demonstrated through our National Green Growth Framework, which was launched by the Honourable Prime Minister this past Monday. The Green Growth Framework is designed to ensure sustainable development through the wise use of resources, the preservation of the environment, and through a collaborative and inclusive approach to planning and implementing our national development. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that a workshop will be conducted tomorrow where REDD+ players will work together with the team from the World Bank to discuss issues regarding the implementation of activities agreed to under the grant. I therefore wish all stakeholders a very productive day ahead as you discuss and plan the activities for the implementation of REDD+ readiness for Fiji. At this juncture, I wish to convey our collective appreciation to Ms. Hadi Say, the World Bank Mission Team Leader, and her team, and the REDD+ stakeholders for your sincere efforts and support, without which today's occasion will not have been possible. We also convey our appreciation to GIZ, our development partner, for the technical and financial support and for the long-term collaboration. I also wish to acknowledge the support from all those who have worked tirelessly and those who have contributed in one way or another to make this day a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I now take the great pleasure in officially launching the Forest Carbon Partnership Facility, REDD+ Readiness Grant for Fiji. Thank you. Vinaka Vakalevu. Shukriya Bahut Dynavad.